Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to Stokes Sounds Off. I'm your host, James Stokes. This is a very special general conference video that will serve a couple of purposes. First, having last reported the latest apostolic data here on August 17th, I am pleased to be able to share it with you all again, as this information has been available on my blog since this morning. Let's get right into it. As I've previously mentioned, Church President Russell M. Nelson set new records as the oldest living prophet and apostle every day of his life. At the time of his September 27th, 2025 death, his age was 101 years, 0 months, and 18 days old, which is a record that may not be touched, let alone surpassed, in the coming years. Given that his ordination as church president took place on January 14, 2018, at the time of his death, his tenure had spanned 7 years, 8 months, and 13 days, which is still the 11th longest. His near-term successor as church president, Dallin H. Oaks, has served as president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles for 7 years, 8 months, and 21 days as of today, with the Apostolic interregnum likely to end this week sometime. He remains the 10th longest serving quorum president, so President Oaks is unlikely to reach any more quorum presidential milestones. At the time of President Nelson's death, he, President Oaks, and then President Eyring had also served together for 7 years, 8 months, and 13 days, and their tenure remains the 9th longest. Meanwhile, the current members of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, and also the now 14 apostles as a group, never made their respective lists of the longest tenured groups, and the clock on all future milestones started again when President Nelson died, and will reset again once a new first presidency is organized and the resulting vacancy in the Quorum of the 12 Apostles is filled. Let's now dive into the ages and average age of the current 14 members of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. As mentioned before, there is no current first presidency and currently 14 members of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. President Dallin H. Oaks is currently the oldest living apostle, and he is 93 years, 1 month, and 23 days old, which works out to 93.15 years. Elder Jeffrey R. Holland is 84 years, 10 months, and 2 days old, or 84.84 years. Elder Henry B. Eyring is now 92 years, 4 months, and 5 days old, or 92.35 decimal years. Elder Dieter F. Uchtdorf is now 84 years, 10 months, 29 days old, or 84.91 years. Elder David A. Bednar is now 73 years, 3 months, and 20 days old, or 73.31 years. Elder Quentin L. Cook is 85 years, 0 months, 27 days old, or 85.07 years. Elder D. Todd Christofferson is 80 years, 8 months, and 11 days old, which is 80.69 decimal years. Elder Neil L. Anderson is 74 years, 1 month, 26 days, or 74.16 years. Elder Ronald A. Rasband is now 74 years, 7 months, and 29 days, or 74.66 years. Elder Gary E. Stevenson is 70 years, 1 month, 29 days, or 70.16 years. Elder Dale G. Renlund is now 72 years, 10 months, 22 days old, or 72.89 years. Elder Garrett W. Gong is 71 years, 9 months, 12 days, or 71.78 years. Elder Ulysses Suarez is now 64 years, 0 months, 3 days old, or 67.01 years. Elder Patrick Kieran is now 64 years, 2 months, 17 days old, or 64.22 years. This means that the 14-member Quorum of the 12 Apostles has a combined 1,089.2 years of life experience, which works out to approximately 77.8 years per quorum member. Meanwhile, President Nelson's death left him with a record for being the oldest living apostle in this dispensation, a title that will likely not be surpassed for the foreseeable future. President Oaks is now the 10th oldest apostle in this dispensation, and he will only take the 9th spot on November 24th, 2025, passing Charles W. Penrose. Elder Eyring is now the 13th oldest and will become the 12th oldest on March 25th, 2026. As for the future apostolic nonagenarians, Elder Quentin L. Cook will join that list in 4 years, 11 months, and 3 days, while Elder Kieran will only do so in 25 years, 9 months, and 13 days. The other apostles will join that list at varying intervals between now and then. With these updates coming every 7 weeks, the next one will be released on Sunday, November 23rd, which will be my last such update for 2025. And obviously by that time, I'm sure the First Presidency will be reorganized and the vacancy in the Quorum of the 12 Apostles will be filled. That brings me to the second point I wanted to mention. As most of you are probably aware, at the conclusion of the October General Conference weekend, President Oaks announced that with the advice and consent of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, no new temples would be announced during that General Conference weekend. The focus instead turns now to completing the temples already in various phases of construction. Once the First Presidency is reconstituted, several temples are completed and awaiting the announcement of their opening arrangements. So, the new First Presidency will likely start there. Another priority will be resolving the issues delaying further progress on the temples in Bengaluru, India, and Heber Valley, Utah. There are additionally 10 temples which have had groundbreakings, but for which full-scale construction has not yet begun in earnest. Likewise, there are 8 temples currently undergoing renovations, and one other that had its renovation announced by President Nelson, but which has not yet begun that process. By my count, there are 2 temples with groundbreaking scheduled, 9 others for which groundbreaking announcements are currently pending, another 20 which have sites announced and exterior renderings released, 5 that have a site announcement but are awaiting the release of their exterior renderings, 12 others with sites confirmed but no exterior renderings released, 6 others awaiting the release of any official information, and more than 6 others with nothing officially announced. So I think it is wise that there should be a brief pause on the announcement of new temples to allow the brethren to not only reconstitute the First Presidency, but also work on the excessive backlog of temples, among other priorities, for the time being. President Oaks also stated that how and when the church will announce temples may change as well. With all of that in mind, a temporary hiatus on announcing new temples makes perfect sense to me. And on another note, I don't envy President Oaks one bit. Right now, he is dealing with the difficult task of leading the church until he is officially ordained and set apart as the new church president. He has also had to grapple with the loss of someone he sat side by side with for over 40 years. I could tell just from watching President Oaks during General Conference weekend that the weight of carrying the church while awaiting his eventual ordination and setting apart is wearing on him. He did not look well at all during General Conference, and I think that's primarily not only due to his age, but also having to bury his longtime seatmate while running General Conference, and doing so before he actually becomes the church president. Something similar happened with President Nelson when he was ordained. So that prophetic mantle will make all the difference for President Oaks. Speaking thereof, I've got another video planned to come your way once the first presidency is reconstituted, which, as I've noted, I expect to see occur sometime next week after Tuesday's funeral. And I think once he is ordained and set apart, he'll hit the ground running on his many upcoming prophetic priorities. I am grateful for the chance to share these thoughts with you all here. I invite you all to stay tuned here for my latest coverage of the updates from the Church News, the Newsroom, and the Church of Jesus Christ Temple sites. I'll be sure to pass word of those along to you all as soon as time and circumstances allow me to do so. In the meantime, that does it for now. All comments are, as always, welcome and appreciated on any video or short at any time, as long as all such feedback is made per the established guidelines. I hope any of you who would like to share anything will take your opportunity to sound off in the comment section below. If you liked what you watched here and would like to stay informed of newly added videos and shorts, please consider subscribing to this channel for the applicable updates. Thank you for the privilege of your time. Until next time, I wish you all the best and pray that the Lord will bless you all in everything you do.